Hello and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. I am your host, Dazza. I've got Steve, my other host, with me. And just wanted to say, please subscribe and like. We're on all media formats, including Spotify, Buzzsprout, Apple, iHeartRadio, and Google Music as well. A quick shout out to Jeff Goulding and Kieran Smith. They just released a brand new book called The Untouchables, Anfield's Band of Brothers. Please go out and get it because it is an absolutely amazing book. And it will tell you the early history of Liverpool Football Club. So go check that out. But I am very, very happy to have our special guest today, all the way from Norway. He is the chairman of the Liverpool FC Supporters Club Norway. It is Paul Christian Møller.
Møller, you gotta
Møller.
do that thing.
Yeah. The Scouse in me can't say that. So, Paul, thank you for coming on.
I'm happy to be here.
We're just going to dive straight into it. So when did your love affair with Liverpool Football Club start?
Well, it's we have to go back to the late 60s, early 70s. In wintertime, the TV stations here, they started to show live matches from England, First Division. They didn't do that even in England, but during the winter, we saw like 12 to 15 matches. If we were lucky, it was like one or two from with Liverpool playing, and at the same time, there's no football in the winter here, and at the same time, Norwegian national football was really bad. You know, the Liverpool's record win 11-0 is against the Norwegian team. You know, the national team, they lost 7-1 to West Germany, 9-0 to Holland. So when you were a kid and you wanted to look for your heroes, you couldn't find them. So we found them on the TV and the English players. So I was about 11 in 1972. I started following Liverpool. I really don't know why, but we had a football game, I think, and we had to choose teams. So I liked the colors and some of the players like John Toshak and Stevie Highway, Kevin Keegan, Ray Clemens, and from that on, it just grew. And late 70s, we started to feel that we really needed to get some more information about Liverpool. The media in Norway was really Stone Age. We had one TV channel, one radio channel that covered all of Norway, no local stations at all. So if you didn't listen to the BBC radio results Saturday evening, you had to wait until Monday to see the result in the newspapers, because we didn't have Sunday newspapers either. So it was really a big need for information and news about Liverpool. So me and another guy, we met in August 1980, and we decided to start a supporters club, mainly to send out information and news. We subscribed to the Liverpool Echo and the Football Echo and the match magazines, the programs. So we got a lot of information from there, and then it grew very quickly. Same Christmas, we had our first trip to Anfield. I took 5 other guys with me, and we wrote a letter to Liverpool and telling them that we started the club and we wanted to come over, and they just opened all the doors. And we came from Norway. It was a shock for them. They didn't even know where Norway was. So we came into Anfield 1980 Christmas time, and we saw all the trophies. We met all the players. It was fantastic. Stood on the Kop, and from that day, we had a very, very good relationship with Liverpool FC for many years. From Peter Robinson, who was chief executive on the very top. We used to meet him regularly when we came over, and all the players as well. There was never any problems. But of course, things have changed a lot since then. we still keep very good, very much in touch with both the club and the ex-players as well as the supporters. Of course, that's the most important thing.
Oh, definitely. So your first Anfield experience, how was it? You know, walking up to Anfield, it must have, because even when I go back home, it's still the same as I was when I'm a kid. I get the, you know, butterflies. I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm gonna see me team play. Was it the same?
Yes, and at that time we'd never seen a match apart from the European Cup. After Liverpool won 11-0, there was the replay here in Oslo where they won 1-0. I saw the game, but we never got near any of the players. And we'd never seen them live apart from that. And we only seen them on TV. So just to meet all the players live, it was amazing. And to be on the Kop and see the match. Unfortunately, it was a 0-0 draw with Leeds. So we didn't see a goal, but it really made the hunger even made us even more hungry to come back and see another game and then want to see a win, you know, and a goal. So I stood many times on the Kop. I was there for the last time as well in '94, and I had so extremely many experiences. I mean, so lucky. I was there when they won the league in 1990. I was there in '95 when Blackburn won the league at Anfield for the final game. I was there for the 3 semi-finals against Chelsea and the semi-final against Barcelona. So I've seen so many great games, but any game really, I will take any game. I think it's a fantastic experience, even though I'm now been there more than 100 times and seen so many games and finals as well, like Istanbul and Wembley and whatever. But every time we come back to Anfield to watch the game, it's such a fantastic experience. And of course, we organize a lot of tours with the supporters club, so we bring over people who have never been there before. So to be with them and be able to help them coming to Anfield for the first time, they may be like 40, 50, 60 years. It's been a dream for them for so many years, and now finally it's come true, and we have been able to help them to realize their dream. That's still fantastic, I think. I never get tired of it.
Yeah, last time I was there, it was the last game of the season against Wolves. You know, when we were hoping City would lose, I went to the Anfield Wrap end of season party, and I swear to God, there were so many Norwegians there, more than Scousers, because we were outside singing the Bobby Firmino song for like at least 2.5 hours, and everyone around me was Norwegian. Yeah, it was just amazing, and the, you know, the support from Norway is astounding.
Yes, we're very happy to hear that, and well, a big part of the supporters club is not just being a fan club, just printing posters of the players, but we really want to teach people about Liverpool Football Club, the history, and also the city of Liverpool and all the other things, not just what's happening on the pitch, but everything else. And we have a very strong feeling about trying to do something for others. So we're through ever since Hillsborough, we've supported different charities, collecting really hundreds of thousands of pounds to different charities, like now the Jamie Carragher Foundation and also Liverpool's own foundation and the Hillsborough, different Hillsborough charities and a lot of other things through many years. And the supporters in Norway are really want to help and trying to do what they can to help people who need it. And that is perhaps what I'm most proud about, that we also try to focus on that, not just the football.
Well, I'm going to bring Steve in because he's the chairman of the official Liverpool group in Austin. So have your way, Steve.
Hey, Paul, thanks for coming on. You know, having our charter since 2013, we always look up to other chapters that have been around so long and have really set the standard for, supporters clubs. And your guys are definitely one of the ones that are famous throughout our North American group, that we always look to see how you guys are conducting your business and organizing trips. And when you're talking about bringing people to Anfield, obviously we're so far away. It's hard to do such a big trip like that. But when Liverpool does come to the United States, we're able to go see them, and we've organized our groups up to 60 people at a time. And a lot of them have never, been to Anfield. So this is probably one of the only times they'll see the first team or even the second team live, and you can, I imagine it'd be the same for you when you bring people to that experience. And for us, it's usually the whole weekend. You just see their eyes light up, you just see the excitement that they're having, seeing the boys in red, or being able to do some of the events surrounding that weekend. And you kind of just sit back like a proud dad and go, yeah, to go at it, kids, and it has to be similar for you.
Yeah, that's so true. I've seen grown men cry literally when they come to Anfield for the first time. So it's been amazing. And also for me, I've been chairman since I started the club 41 years ago. So I've outlived other chairmen like Castro and Mao. So must be some sort of record, I think. But for me, it's also on a non-profit basis. But you get so much in return just to try to do a job for all the other supporters. And it's not just me, of course. There are so many people working so much in their spare time to organize things here in Norway. We have a lot of people organize their own local live birds clubs. They have they watch the matches together. They do different social activities together all over the country. And to see the growth has made me really proud. We are now more than 50,000 members of the supporters club. And just to give you an idea what that is, in Norway we have 5 million people in total. So that's 1% of the whole population of Norway. He's not just a supporter, he's a member of the Liverpool Supporter Club. So that's amazing. But still, we are very big on the internet, of course, liverpool.no. It's in Norwegian, so you may not understand it, but it's in fact Norway's biggest purely sports web page. We are number one in Norway. And we publish this magazine, the Cop Bite, 8 times every year. So the last issue was in fact number 300 since 1980. So there has been tens of thousands of pages written about Liverpool all the time. And in the old days, we got to meet the players almost wherever we wanted, so we could have interviews with them. Phil Neal was our first president from 1981, and he, during 2 or 3 years, he wrote me handwritten letters, sent them to me in the post, in the mail. I translated them and printed it in a magazine. I mean, he was very open. Like in the autumn, I remember just after New Year, 1981, 82, he wrote that dark cloud has to come over Anfield. They just lost 3-1 to Manchester City and were quite a bit down on the table. And they won eventually the league that season, but he was very open-minded. He wrote about the problems that the defense had with the new goalkeeper, Bruce Grobbler, and that they needed more time, etc. So, and 2 young promising players coming up. He believed in them. They were Ronnie Whelan and Ian Rush. So it's really great fun to look back at. And those guys, they were so incredibly service-minded. They were so open. And they still are when we meet them. They love to meet the Norwegian fans whenever they can and telling the stories. And they are really big heroes, even though they're now turning 70.
You kind of remind me, about Phil Neal, and offline I told you that I had played in a couple of supporters matches, and Phil Neal was our gaffer for those games. So it was always, it was quite an honor to be just around him, but then him interacting with us, and it was definitely one of my best moments as a Liverpool fan. I wanted to ask you, kind of take us back, when John Arne Riise joined Liverpool. What was the vibe there in Norway when he signed with the Reds at the time?
Well, the first Norwegian was Stig Inge Bjørneby. He was also left back. He did quite a good job, I think. And after that, there were some others as well: Vegard Heggem, Bjørn Tore Kvarme, Øyvind Leonardsen.
Yeah, I didn't mention those guys because I couldn't pronounce their names, so I just stuck with something that I could.
So at the moment, there were perhaps a bit too many Norwegians, but all of them had gone when Jon Arne Riise came from Monaco. I think we saw that as very exciting, because he was an exciting player, and he scored some fantastic goals. So he was really good player for Liverpool, I think. But he's a bit different character than the others. So I really don't know him very well. But I can tell you a little story, because my daughter, she lived in Italy, in Rome, working as a wedding planner. So when he was sold to Rome, I contacted Jon Arne's manager, and I said that if he needed some help, my daughter was staying there, so just give me a call. And he had a meeting with her, and she ended up being his private Italian teacher. So for 1 year, she came back to his apartment, trying to teach him and his wife some basic Italian. So they became quite good friends, in fact, because her husband is a big Roma supporter and Italian. So he was very happy to be a friend of one of the players. So, but now Jon Arne, he's more of a celebrity now in Norway. He doesn't play any football more, but he was really, really good player. I think that after he left, Liverpool struggled at left back for many, many years to get someone who was better.
Yeah, you could say they struggled all the way until Andy Robertson, claimed the position for his own, right? Yeah, I met Jon Arne Riise at the 10-year anniversary of the Istanbul over there in Liverpool, and he came in. He had this nice Italian suit on. His hair was all standing straight up. He had just came, I think, from Cyprus from winning the league there, and he was nice and tan. And like, man, well, life has been good to you, my friend.
Yes. I think he spent all this money. He was on a TV show just a couple of years ago when he needed some professional help, because he couldn't go into town without going to Louis Vuitton or Gucci store to buy something for his wife.
Well, that makes a lot more sense now for when I met him. I was going to ask you, just since you've been around the supporters club for so long, what is your opinion on how, especially since FSG has taken over, how they've structured the supporters clubs, how they've expanded the reach of them, some of the way that they're setting up the charters? What are your thoughts about that? And as a disclaimer, these aren't official representations of the club. So Paul and I were just talking. So
well, it's something you can discuss for quite a long time. Well, before, earlier, there was no structure or control at all. So we had our supporters club, but we were totally independent from the Liverpool Football Club, and we still feel we are. We've done whatever we want to do all the time. We haven't never asked the club about, can we do this or can we do that? But of course, I feel that I understand that they want to have some sort of control, or at least an overview of what is happening. But of course, it's extremely important that you have all the supporters club have to be independent. They cannot do any sort of censorship on what you write and what you say. You have to be. If we had to choose, we would choose to be independent, because that's our role. Our loyalty lies with the supporters, first and foremost. We are not a channel for the football club or the owners. We are a channel for the supporters. That's very important for us to have that role. But even so, if anything happens like the European Super League or whatever, the media here in Norway, they always phone me. So I'm quite often on national TV, and it can also be like the main news on the 9 o'clock news, which happened this spring. So they, of course, then we try to speak on behalf of the club and also on behalf of the supporters, but our hearts are with the supporters all the time. So we're very happy to say that we never had any problems with that at all from the club, and they respect that 100%, I think. And they've been very open to us, helpful to us all the time. But of course, things are changed a lot. So we understand fully that you cannot have access to the players anymore like you did before, because then you had like perhaps one interview from for a newspaper once a month. Now we have like dozens every day. So of course things cannot be as they used to, but we can still think back about all the good times. So, but I must say, to be quite honest, I feel it's too money in football now, and even I met the owners a couple of times, and they're really, I think they were nice people and everything, but of course it's too much money, and I feel quite strongly about that. So we have to pay now, Norwegian fans, we have to pay like £60 every month to be able to watch the games on TV. The prices in Norway are higher because the support is higher. So we're sort of getting hit back because we have made this big support for Liverpool in Norway, and because of that they just push up the prices. And to go to a match now is of course the tickets and the kits and everything. I'm not too happy about that. So but what can you do?
You know, it's for me, I totally understand the FSGs wanting to protect the intellectual property, right? The logos and then how you use them. But I also understand that, you know, on your end or everybody's end, really, that, you know, the ticket prices are having to increase. The cost to watch games when you're not there in England has increased. Even here in the United States, we're very blessed to see the games, but now there's different platforms that you have to subscribe to. And so you kind of see that trend moving forward. What are your do you have a close relationship with the Spirit of Shankly or the Spine Cop folk whenever you know, issues come up like the Super League or the ticket prices and things like that?
Yes, we have good relationships with them whenever it's needed, but not on a daily basis. But when things happen, like you said, we do, yes. And we like to. We have full respect for those organizations and what they do. I think it's very important, and I think also that the club appreciates that, and they understand that they need to talk to the supporters before doing anything stupid like they have done a couple of times.
Yeah, they definitely need to talk to the fan base before, you know, once, you know, you kind of slap their hand 2 or 3 times, then it's like, all right, you know, there's a problem here, you know. And for Joe Blott, who's the chair of Spirit of Shankly, you know, they've done a fantastic job to put a voice to us fans. You know, because it is tough. You just notice the increase in ticket prices is insane. For the regular, you know, Joe Schmo, the middle class, It's getting harder and harder to actually go and watch a match, especially, you know, if you're in the States as well. You know, the airfare is really expensive. Then most people have to get the hospitality packages, which are just outrageous. So yeah, you know, it's getting tougher, but with the 7,000 capacity added to the Anfield Road stand, I think that'll help a little bit. But I actually just wanted to read a quote, actually, because it just got me thinking. Bobby Robson said this: "What is a club in any case? Not the building or directors, or the people who are paid to represent it. It's not the television contracts, get out clauses, marketing departments, or executive boxes. It's the noise, the passion, the feeling of belonging to the pride in your city. It's a small boy clambering up stadium steps for the very first time, gripping his father's hand, gawping at the hollowed stretch of turf beneath him, and without being able to do a thing about it, falling in love." That's what a football fan is. And, you know, FSG and the rest of the owners have to realize, you know, that, again, you know, football without fans is terrible, as we noticed last season.
Yeah.
You know, it was just awful to watch. I could barely watch the games. My heart and soul wasn't into it.
I totally agree. If someone was thinking that the supporters are not important, then I think perhaps that's one good thing that came out of COVID, you know, because to watch the games last year with the fake stadium noise and also the VAR, it was terrible. So now just to watch a game on TV is fantastic, to see the fans and to hear them singing. And, you know, Liverpool would never have beaten Barcelona 4-0 in an empty stadium.
No.
Liverpool would never have lost 6 games in a row like they did last season with full capacity. So these things are so obvious that the supporters mean so much. But and now you mustn't take it for granted, because like just in the 80s, they struggled to fill the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
When many matches with were not sold out, you could often go just to the stands and buy a ticket at the entrance in the 70s and also in the 80s. So now they're in a very good situation, but you never know how things will be in the future. So they have to work close with the fans. That's extremely important. So like myself, many others were so disappointed now in April, when Liverpool were one of the teams trying to break out and start their own league. I could hardly believe it that they didn't foresee the reaction from the fans. It was so obvious that everyone wanted to protest.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I'm happy they turned it and changed their minds.
Yeah, that was tough to read. Again, I just didn't understand it, because all it said to me was greed. That's it.
Yeah.
You know? And I still don't understand how, like, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and is it Juve? They're still, like, supposedly involved in it, but
well, they need a lifeline of money. That's why.
Yeah, that's
they have had so big problems, you know, both Barcelona and they had to sell their best players, some of them like Messi and Ronaldo. You know, they don't have any money, they just have enormous debts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Koeman, I actually saw his press conference yesterday, and he was reading from a script that the Barcelona president had given him, and then the journos tried to ask him questions, and he just got up and left. Barcelona are in massive trouble, you know. And like, Paul, how is your feeling on, you know, FSG's, you know, not spending? Like when we're at the top of the, you know, the pedestal, We'd won the Champions League, we'd won the league, we won, the World Club Trophy, Super Cup, and we didn't add to the team. Now, there's some people on the fence. I would have liked at least one or two new players come in. One was Kanote anyway. But then you got the other people on the fence who are livid that FSG didn't spend money. What's your take on that?
I think you have the same situation here. Some are very frustrated that they didn't buy any top players. But on the other hand, I think most Liverpool's fans are very proud that we still managed to do so well, in spite of spending as little as we do. So that makes it even, to win a trophy in our situation is really, it will mean so much more. I think that if a Liverpool supporter wouldn't like us to sort of buy us to more trophies. We don't want to be Manchester City or Chelsea who could just spend and win because we have a lot of money. Then that's not the Liverpool way to do it. So I think we can accept that we don't win all the time, but we still are Liverpool and we do it. We're the best anyway. We feel that we're the best because we don't compete on the same level, it's not the same rules applying to all the other teams, but we still beat them. So so that makes it even sweeter to win.
Yeah,
it was tremendous achievement to get to third position last year, I think, because it's a very, very tight balance. We can't afford too many injuries, and we saw that last year what it meant. So you have to be lucky also to win when you don't have the resources that the other competitors have. So I would love to get a really good striker in before next season.
Yeah, because I actually think the front three are going to disband next summer. It looks like Bobby is probably going to be the first one to leave. There's talk of Haaland coming, and yes, I'd love him, but I leave it up to the big man, to Klopp. He's done nothing wrong for me to say, hey, you need to get this player or this player, and this is my whole thing. If he thinks this squad is good enough, and he said it's good enough, then I'm all right with it, and I love how he brings the youngsters through, because not many teams do that like he does. We wouldn't have Trent, we wouldn't have Curtis, we wouldn't have Nico Williams, and now Kay Gordon. We wouldn't have any of those if fans, wanted who they really wanted to spend all this amount of money for players to sit on a bench. Why?
Yes, I totally agree. And some players are not supposed to be in Liverpool. You have to fit in with the culture also, with Liverpool FC and also the city. You cannot buy a superstar who doesn't understand what Liverpool Football Club is about. We're a different club from any others, I think. And I totally agree with you. When Klopp buys a player, he doesn't only look at what they can do on the pitch. He also talks to them and see if they have the right personality.
Oh, exactly. You just get on Twitter and you just see the amount of abuse that Liverpool, get from, I call them FIFA managers, the PlayStation managers. They everything's wrong with Liverpool. We're not buying Mbappe. Why did we not get Saul? Well, we're top of the league. Without those players. Yes, we have a long way to go, but if we can stay fit, I don't see any reason why we couldn't win the league, why we couldn't win the Champions League. I would like to win the FA Cup this year. I would like to go back to Wembley, because it's been a very long time since we've been there last. You know, I'm a 70s kid, so the FA Cup meant a lot to me. Just traveling up to Wembley was just like an amazing day out for me. So I'd like to see us, you know, back there. Well, let's just win it all. Let's win every single trophy that's out there this season.
I feel a bit sad, really, that they never prioritized the FA Cup, because I have so many good memories. I think I've seen 5 or 6 FA Cup finals, and well, if people ask me what's your strongest memory from a match you've been to. I went to Istanbul, but there is one match on top of that. Number one for me, emotionally, was the FA Cup final in 1989, just 1 month after Hillsborough, when Liverpool met Everton at Wembley. And when I'm starting to talk about it, I feel goosebumps. It was so amazing, you know, fantastic weather, atmosphere. Everyone was friendly and happy, even if you were a Liverpool supporter and Everton supporter. Just before the kickoff, Jerry Marsden went out on the pitch, just on his own, no music, sang "You'll Never Walk Alone." It was so incredibly emotional, and the match itself, you know, going into extra time, Everton coming back 2 times, and Rushy scored the final goal. It was so meant to be that Liverpool were winning that game. And I still feel strongly emotional about that game. And I saw them later when they won against Sunderland in 92, and in Cardiff in 2006, the Steven Gerrard final. I was there as well. So there are so many happy memories from the FA Cup. So I would really love them to win that, and I wouldn't mind the League Cup either. For there's also quite a lot of good memories there, and you're only like 2 or 3 games away from the final there, you know. So I really would love to see any kind of trophy this season. And I'm pretty sure that Liverpool will be competing for the Premier League. There are 4 teams, I think, who can win it, and well, it's sometimes very close, you know, like Man United now. West Ham missed the penalty and extra time. You know, always these small things that can change the final results of who's winning or not. Against City a couple of years ago, we were so close, and then we won, of course, by a mile or many miles. So Liverpool are definitely going to be competing all the way until May. I'm sure about that. So we won't win every year, of course, but I think that Liverpool will win many trophies during the next 10 years.
Yeah,
without spending all that money.
Yeah, I just want, you know, because we missed out on the big party for winning the league. That's why I want to win the cup. I want to win the league again, so we can double party. The Liverpool fans deserve it. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, speaking of parties, can you, I was interested in knowing, what do you guys do on game days? Do you have a certain place to go? Because, you know, you have so many members, you don't even have a stadium in Norway big enough to hold all your paid supporters. So what do you guys do? Do you have special venues that you go watch the game?
Well, Norway is a very far-stretched country. You know, if you turn it upside down, it goes all the way down to Rome. So it's quite a long. There are long distances. So there are many local Liverbirds clubs. They do their own things, and also here where I live, just outside Oslo, people usually meet in the local pubs or something like that. That's and of course everyone can watch it on TV also. If you subscribe to this channel, you can in fact watch all Liverpool games all the season, so you don't miss a single match. So that's well, yeah, usually what people do. Yeah.
Daza referenced, winning the league and not having a party. Kind of take us back to that day when we won the league, because obviously, you've been following the club so long, and back at our last title, and now here we are winning the title and not being able to really, get together socially, at least here in the United States. Can you kind of let us know what your feelings were that day and how you celebrated?
It was like more than one episode, when Liverpool eventually won the league. They weren't playing that evening, but so it was a bit strange, actually when Chelsea, the last final game with Chelsea, when it was decided that Liverpool couldn't lose, and I was just sitting here in my house, in fact, with my wife watching the TV. It was really quiet, but we did some celebrations earlier when it looked like they were really going to win, but because of the COVID situation, it was very tough. You couldn't meet more than just a handful of people, so we didn't really get the chance to celebrate properly. We didn't. So we were also planning last year to have our 40th anniversary party here in Norway, and we had planned to get over some of the old ex-players like Ian Rush and several of the others, and Peter Moore, the CEO. We talking to him 6 months before, and he said that he would definitely be trying to attend himself, and we were bringing Jamie Webster, the musician, and it was really going to be one big party. But of course we had to cancel everything, so we're really waiting for the next trophy, and then we will do something special. We sometimes try to bring over some of the ex-players. They are very happy to do that.
Sure.
Meet all the fans, and so there's a lot of things happening all through the year here in Norway. A lot of English players usually come over to local Liverbirds clubs as well. So now, of course, because of the COVID, it hasn't been possible. But when the things are opening up now, then things will definitely start to happen again.
Well, let's all hope that we can meet each other in person next spring after we win the league and there's a big old party. So, we really appreciate you spending time with us. And my last question is, I was just curious, your all-time favorite player from Liverpool?
For me, it has to be Kenny Dalglish. He was such a fantastic player, and also incredibly intelligent, and the way he played with like Ian Rush in the 80s, I think it's impossible to get past him, really. So and your heroes from when you were a teenager, they're always with you for the rest of their lives. But of course now you have so many good players now as well, but I still feel that some of the old players, they were the loyalty and the number of years and the number of matches, like like Ian Rush and those kind of guys. I don't think that will happen again with any of today's players.
Obviously for Kenny Dalglish, his life after playing has been just as impactful as his playing days. He's not one of those players that you idolize as a kid and then they do stuff after they retire, and that just brings them discredit. So, they're definitely somebody that has my utmost respect, as well as most Liverpool fans.
Yeah, on and off the pitch, Kenny is just, I think that's what you get with Liverpool players, especially the older generation Liverpool players. They're just very, you know, if you see them in the street, they'll have a chat with you, you know, while today's like superstar won't have the time of day for you, you know. And I think that's what I miss. Like I met my hero through Zoom, which is Ronnie Whelan, and I was like a little, you know, schoolboy. You know, words weren't coming out as I wanted, but you know, it was just amazing to, you know, see this man that I'd looked up to for so many years, watching him play, and saying, you know, my dream is also to meet Kenny one day. You know, just say hello and say thank you. That's all I want to say to him, because, you know, he was my poster on the wall as well, Kenny. I mean, you know, he was just a fantastic player, and I see that in like Jordan Henderson as well. Again, you know, there's a lot of people have a go at Jordan, saying he's not this, he's not that, but you know, you hear Klopp saying on and off the pitch he's a leader, and you know. I broke down when I saw us win the Champions League and he went straight to his dad on the sidelines, and you know, I was bawling like a little baby. But it's just little things like that that Liverpool players bring to all us fans, and makes us feel, you know, a part of this great club. But I think we've come to the end of this episode. Paul, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us today. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Just a pleasure. If I'm allowed to, I could end with telling a little story about Ronnie Whelan, as you mentioned him.
Oh yes, of course.
Because we met him a few times. Well, with the supporters in England, and it's a story told us that you may have heard it before, but you know, he made his debut against Stoke, I think, in 1981, scoring on his debut, and he was all wound up, and he used to be a Manchester United supporter, and family used to be United supporters from Dublin. So Liverpool were playing Man United the next game, and he went to the Bob Paisley's office, knocking on his door, and Bob Paisley asked, "What can I do for you, son?" And he said, "Well, my family is coming over, my father and my brothers. So I wonder if I could have 3 tickets for them for the Man United game." And Bob Paisley just looked at them and said, "3? You can have 4. You're not playing."
Excellent. That's quite the story. That's awesome.
He was quick to put him back down on his feet, you know.
That's what you love about you know, again, listening to the stories. It's just like, oh man, I could listen to stories all day. It's just brilliant. But Paul, again, thank you so much for, you know, coming on our podcast and spending a little time with us. It's always great to meet other, you know, Liverpool fans around the world, and you know, I can't wait to, like Steve said, win the league again, and then all go, you know, to Liverpool and really, you know, give this team like the massive party and the massive party us fans deserve.
See you there.
See you. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, see you then.
Bye.